What's up, everybody? Today I'm here to review The Walking Dead, episode 5, titled Say the Word. And before I get off into this review, I'm gonna start making my reviews shorter because I don't want to do 27 minutes long, 27 minute long video like I did for my last review. I feel like I cheated you guys, and 27 minutes was long as hell. Let's be real here, and I don't want you guys watching me for 27 minutes. That's boring. And I don't even want to record a 27 long video review. That's almost close to the episode, actual episode. So guys, please forgive me, and I hope you guys and thank you guys for watching that video, because some of you guys did watch that video, actually enjoyed it. So let's get off now. But hold on, before I get off into the review, I want to talk about Rick for a moment. And something that Daryl mentioned in season 1. And this right here caught my eyes. In season 1, because remember, Daryl, for some of you who don't know, Daryl is a very observant character. He observed a lot of stuff. And I mean, what he said in the season 1 premiere caught my eyes, because he's the only person I've seen out of the whole group mention this so far. He tells Carol, because this is when Rick take over the prison, and it was all sitting outside that night, and Rick was standing on top of the hill by the fence. Carol gets on top of a bus with Daryl. It's nighttime now, and she basically gives Daryl some food, saying if she wouldn't bring him, he's not going to eat. And Daryl looks at Rick on top of that hill, and Daryl states, "I guess old Shane over there don't have quite the appetite." Well, he said, "I guess old Shane over there have quite an appetite." And when he said that, I was like, Daryl is a very observant character. He noticed that Rick was going down this Shane path. Even when Carl opened up that can of dog food, I stated this before, Rick picks up the dog, he takes the dog food out of Carl's hand and he throws it against the wall. And that's completely out of Rick's character. We never seen Rick do nothing like that. Like I said, he would usually laugh and tell him not to eat it, but Rick picks the food up, he throws it on the wall, and I was like, well, I never seen Rick act like this. That's why I'm saying Rick was at his breaking point. But to us as the viewer, we was wondering how long will it take before we see him break. And we finally got to see it in the 4th episode. And as I stated, and he was just walking around the fence. And like Herschel said, if it was anything wrong with that fence by now, he would have found it. That's how we know this new psychological mindset, this dude was about to blow up. And Daryl was the first person to call it out. Also to mention, Daryl was the first person to say that the group was broken in season 2. I'll never forget this, because Dale, a lot of people went off speculation of Dale coming up with that conclusion. Dale did not come up with the group was broken. It was Daryl who made him realize the group was broken. That's the reason why Daryl was never around them in season 2, because he said there are secrets within the group, and ain't nobody saying that. And he basically meant that Rick knows Shane killed Otis, but he constantly covered it up. He tried to make it look like nothing never happened. But Daryl said Rick is not dumb. Rick knows Shane killed Otis, but he's trying to pretend like he don't. And he say, I don't want to tell Rick nothing about it because he won't believe me. Basically meaning that Shane is Rick's best friend. He'll take Shane's side over his side. So you guys have to notice that Daryl might have been an outcast in season 2, but he was still, as I stated, a very observant character, and you can't knock him for that. And that's why I like Daryl, because people think he's dumb and he's actually not. He pays attention. I think he's probably next to Rick when it comes to paying attention to details and stuff. So let's get off into the episode. We see the governor. We don't even see the governor at that point, but we see the people having the barbecue in Woodbury. And it seems all so real, but at the time all so fake, because it's like, do you people realize you guys are in the zombie apocalypse? And I understand the concept and the meaning of, live life to your fullest. You can die either today or tomorrow. But the point is about that is, I mean, it just felt funny. Everybody was happy. It seemed so fake to me. I'm like, it's like, why people? You are in the zombie apocalypse. It's a difference between living and surviving. You people are not living life. You might be living at this moment. And as Andrea said, what if a herd blew through here? What can you do then? And the first thing the governor states that we got guns. Okay, here's the thing. How long will your guns last? Let's see. You don't have nobody who manufacture bullets no more. You don't have nobody who manufacture canned goods. So eventually you're gonna run out. And also to mention that this is all in the 10-month time frame. All this is going on in the early stages. It haven't even been a year yet. So I don't know what's going on. But as I stated before, it's a difference between living and surviving. Those people are not surviving. Those people, this is a cage and they in it. And they got walkers around the cage. Eventually, Woodbury will get overthrown. It's going to happen. A herd is nothing to play with. And the government is taking that for granted. But anyway, we see them having the barbecue. And then we go to a scene with the governor in a room. He's combing his daughter hair, Penny. Now we didn't get to see Penny's face, but my speculation was right when I say Penny was a walker, and she was a walker. And we see when he was combing her head, he accidentally, well, not even no accident, he combs a piece of scalp out of her head, and she goes crazy. And you can tell, and we also can look at her and tell that she's, as I just mentioned, a walker, but she also have he sealed her up. He sealed her arms up so she can't attack him. Basically, kind of defined in the jacket. And here's the thing: when I seen Penny as a walk, and I seen that the governor was still, of course that's his loved one, that's his daughter, but I see that he told her basically was telling her about don't be bad and stuff. And the first thing that came to my head that this guy got a Morgan and a used to be Herschel mindset when it comes to walking, especially they loved ones. Because you mean to tell me Morgan had the same problem, except he did not let Janet get close to him. That's the name of Morgan. For some of you who don't know Morgan, Morgan and Dwayne, they from the first season of The Walking Dead. Now Morgan's wife had got bitten, Janet, but he could not allow himself to kill Janet because he still, well, deep down inside, he still believed that's his wife. Of course, she's still his wife, but that is not the same person in the body. It's like her soul went away and a parasite took over her body. She turned into a walker. Once her body shut down from her getting bitten, once the fever, well, because she got bitten. Once her body had got shut down and everything shut down and she died, that was not your wife no more. As I just mentioned, her soul went away and a parasite got in her body and turned her into a walker. It didn't happen like that, but I'm just trying to do an example, good example. And for some reason, he cannot allow himself to kill her. He even cried. He was even crying just to hesitate, to kill her. Looking at the picture, so yeah, he couldn't kill Jenny, but overall, he did try to kill her, but he couldn't. Next, we got Herschel. Now, Herschel's situation was different. Herschel thought they were sick. He came to a conclusion that they were sick and they needed help. And it comes to a conclusion where he finds out the truth by Shane, of course, because Shane busts open the barn. But back to what I was saying. This man has a mindset of Herschel and Morgan. And it's ridiculous. He got this dead little girl, and let me say this too. A zombie flesh is always rotten. So of course when he was combing her head, her scalp was gonna fall out. Of course. And that caused her to go in pain. And he also had, as I just mentioned, he had in a straight jacket. So we see him put a bag over her head, and he states that he tells her that daddy still love you. Now here's the thing. You got the governor. To me, it's two personalities. You have the governor, who's a charming guy. Everybody loving Woodbury. They look to him for leadership. You know, he's that type of guy. But his real personality is Philip Blake. Philip Blake is dark. He's twisted. He got a Walker daughter, and he also cut off zombie heads and put it in the tank. So yeah, two different personalities. But I think Philip is the true personality. The governor is nothing but a fake persona. If you get what I'm saying. And we see he puts a bag over his daughter's head. And once he about to put her in the closet, look like, and we see Michonne just staring at him through the window. Here goes the thing though. We see a scene with Rick them at the prison. We go back to that part. Now it's revealed that Rick goes into a furious and mental deranged mindset. And and Daryl was trying to talk to him, but it's like he can hear Daryl, but he's not trying to listen. And to me, it's like he goes under some sort of shock. He goes into shock because you can hear when Daryl talking to you. You hear like this, and it's like something is basically in his head. And so you see how Daryl just leaves him alone because Daryl is smart. I told you Daryl is an observant character. He's very interesting too. I like Daryl. And we see how Rick goes on this rampage of killing Marcus. And I like how Robert Kirkman put this element from the comic book into the show, because for some of you who don't know, Tyrese did the same thing Rick did, but except Tyrese was the first person to do it because the comic book came out before the show. Tyrese went into the gym. He slaughtered every walker. And the reason this happened because his daughter ends up getting killed because she tried to commit suicide, but we all know how that worked out. And he goes into a rage. And he goes into the gym and he slaughtered every walker in there. And I think he used a sledgehammer for that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it got to a point where his rage took over him so bad, he didn't even realize what he was doing at one point. When he killed them walkers, and then later on, when he looked and he realized what he did, he didn't even realize he was doing it at that moment, if you get what I'm saying. He was like, wow, and I never even got bit. This man didn't care about his life. And another thing to add, I like how Robert Kirkman, got, because the gym was bloody, and you can see how Tyrese had blood all in his face. And also, you can see how Rick had the same thing. Rick had blood all in his face, all on his shirt, his pants. And I like how they implemented that element from the comic book overall. Genius. It's genius writing to me, how they did it. And Andrew Lincoln is a very good actor. I like the way he did it, because if you was actually looking at them shooting at that part, you would probably think that Andrew Lincoln is actually mental and psycho at that moment because he played it so good. So that's what happened. Now he slaughtered the walkers, and we also see another scene where he takes Glenn and throws Glenn up on the wall. Now I want to say this too. Rick has never really attacked any of his group members, especially the ones that he liked. Especially Glenn. I never seen him attack Glenn. He didn't attack him like physically with punches, but he did touch him. He did take him, put him on the wall, and then push them off. So you can tell that he didn't completely lose his mind, because he was still able to maintain himself from not killing Glenn. Because if he would have completely lost his mind, he would have killed Glenn. Just saying. And another thing have to do with him going off into this mindset is because sorrow. Remember the way he treated Lori? That's the reason why he also went off into this rampage. That's the reason. Next scene, we see the governor. And we see them all coming in the room because the governor states that a couple of months ago they were stuck all in one house together, surviving off of spam and salt, and I think saltine crackers, or I think he said one of those. Now here's the thing. He goes in the room and you basically see him talking to Milton and Merle, and Milton is basically telling him he need the generators for his experiment. He need a power supply, And you can see how the government is not agreeing with it, telling him, "Oh well, we gonna need it for the night. Have a good time." That's what he was basically saying. And before that, we can see how Michonne had broke up into his apartment and took her katana blade. And that's nothing that caught my eye. When she broke into his apartment, I seen her almost find his daughter Penny in the closet. Because we heard some moving, then we see Michonne picks a knife up. She started wiggling into the doorknob. Not the doorknob, but the lock. And we can see she was trying to see what was in that closet. Now, let's just say she would have found Penny. I think she would have had to kill her. And I think that would have really took the governor over the edge. We definitely would have seen his dark side. And after they leave the room, we see Michonne basically jump out a window. And she ends up in some part, I don't know what the part is, but they have walkers in the cage, and she kills them out with her katana blade. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. The choreography for that fight was so good. She did so good with the katana blade. She wielded pretty good. And she stumps a zombie head in with no effort at all. And that brings me to back what I was saying about the walkers and rotten flesh and stuff. So that was amazing. And somebody ends up finding her. I don't know who it is, but it's possible the person that found her, we seen them with some body parts in the bucket. So I'm thinking that was Lieutenant Wells' body parts in that body. Because remember, we seen his head in the governor's fish aquarium. So we don't know what happened to the rest of his body. So it's possible they cut his body up and was gonna feed it to the walkers. But then they realized that the walkers are dead because Michonne slaughtered them. And we get to a point where basically Michonne is ready to go, and the governor don't want her around because she don't want to join his group. That's the main reason he wanted her to go. He lying, telling Andrea that people don't want her there. That's bullshit. She ain't want to join his group, and he basically let her go. And we can see how Merle opened up the gate. Let me say this: Merle do not care about Andrea and Michonne leaving. That was already stated. He said the only reason he was skeptical about letting them leave because that's the governor's choice. He said he don't care about them leaving at all. He did, but we see how Michonne is about to go, and basically she want Andrea to come with her, and Andrea states that she cannot do 18 months again out there. She said she can't do it, and she states that this place is what we always talked about, and I can see where she's coming from because as I stated before, you got surviving and you got living. Now, in Andrea's situation, she feels that she's in a good environment and she's living now. She's not surviving. She's not struggling every day to survive out there in the wild like that. And I see what she's saying. She don't have to go around scavenging through houses looking for canned foods. She got food there. She got people. She got a whole environment. She got a community there. So I understand what she's saying, but then again, she already know what type of person he was because she talked to the governor. And she asked him about those walkers, about those same walkers Michonne killed. And he states that he don't really want to go in detail about it, but still, he's keeping walkers there. And the main point of Woodbury is to get away from the walkers, not to have them where you sleep at. And I don't get that. That's why I say Philip is totally twisted, keeping people heads and fish tanks. That man crazy. Next scene, like I said, I ain't gonna really touch on every scene. We see I want to touch on this one. We see Daryl and Maggie goes into a daycare, and once they go into the daycare, we see a camera zoom up on the wall. And on this wall, it have paper fingerprints. And I was looking in, and one of the names was on there was called Sophie. Sophie. I don't know if that's wrong, y'all. Please correct me if I said that wrong, but it said Sophie. And when I seen that name, I seen Daryl staring at it. So I'm like, why Daryl is staring at the name so hard? And it's revealed that once he seen that name, it reminded him of Sophia, because it's almost the same as the name, Sophie. And I was like, no wonder he stared at the name like he did. No wonder. And it's possible that the writers was paying a tribute to Sophia by doing it. And next we see them find baby formula. And we also See, Daryl finds a possum, and of course he kills it and eats it. And it's taking me back to what I was saying about this guy will do whatever it takes to survive. Because in the first season of The Walking Dead, he killed the deer. And the walkers found the deer and ate the deer up. And he killed the walkers and stated, and he asked the group, can we just cut around the part that the walkers bit on and cut that off and still eat it? And everybody just walked away. He was dead serious. Also, in season 2, he ate a dead squirrel. He cut open a squirrel and ate the insides of it out. Heart, everything, the organs, he ate everything out. And also in season 3 premiere, he ate an owl. The man killed an owl and he was picking the feathers off of it. And he states to Rick in the first episode that the owl didn't do nothing for him. So we know he ate it, but it was off-screened. So I'm pretty sure he would have helped Carl with the dog food. And not to mention that possums are very nasty. Possums are not animals. Possums are rodents. And I'm pretty sure he about to, I hope he don't get sick, because possums be eating dead people. Probably ate a walker. Shit. And next, we see Merle and Martinez have this fight with walkers and stuff. And we see how Andrea starts to change her mind because these people was using that as entertainment. And the people in Woodbury are hypocrites. How the fuck are you supposed to escape from the walkers when you sit right there entertaining humans fighting walkers? Although the government say, oh, it's scripted though. But they ain't got no teeth, so it's scripted. Here's the thing. Also, when we talk about Merle, Merle was in the army, so that's why Merle can fight. And Merle also hit a roundhouse kick that was beautiful. He kicked the shot at Martinez. And yeah, and we see him, and he states that these fights were scripted, but yet, you ain't even cut their hands off. Do that dummy know if a zombie scratch you, you can still get infected? I hope he know that. I mean, that what happened to Dale. That zombie didn't bite Dale in season 2. That zombie bust open Dale's stomach. Like, literally busted it open. And scratched it open. Next scene. We see, we see Andrea, not Andrea, but we see Daryl goes to Carol grave and basically bring her the Cherokee's rose that he had gave her in season 2, and he states that the Cherokee's rose stands for a bionic hope, I think, of somebody returning back to you, and he gives that to her. In the final scene, we see the first scene we see of Rick. We see him going there. We see him find a bullet in the boiler room, and then we see a trail of a walker that look like the viral Laura. I never seen a walker eat a whole human up. I mean, he literally ate up everything up. Not even the bones was left. Then we see Rick pick up the bullet. Then he goes to where the walker is at, and the walker is full, and the walker have Lori hair on the side of his chin. And I was like, wow, man, that walker literally ate up Lori. He ate everything up. I never seen a walker devour a whole human before. It at least be something left for it. Wasn't nothing left for Lori. So yeah. And then the final scene we see is with we do see Daryl holding the baby. I want to put that scene in there. That was very good because remember, Daryl don't have a family. He states that his daddy wasn't drunk and Merle was never there. So of course he considered Corridor as his family now. So yeah, he was holding the baby, and the baby stopped crying when Daryl was holding it. So that was touching. But we see the final scene where Rick picks up a phone and basically answer in his Lori on the phone. But although if you didn't read the comic book, that is not nobody on the phone. All right, Rick is in a mental mind state right now. He also lost his mind. This happened in the comic book when Lori died. He picks up the phone every time thinking of Lori on the phone talking to him, but it's not. And he always feeling bad for what happened to her, so he always apologizes to her on the phone. But it's not Lori because we know Lori got killed. Common sense. So yeah, this was my review for The Walking Dead Season 5. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and peace.